Hi everyone, Mariluz Cook here, joined by Whitney Johnson, former Southern Utah basketball player. So Whitney, you started off your collegiate basketball career at New Mexico and spent your last 2 years of eligibility at Southern Utah playing alongside your younger sister, Kiana. What was it like getting to share that experience with her?
Absolutely amazing. It started off a little rough being sisters, not having lived together for a couple of years. We had to get acquainted with each other, had to learn some of the, quirks and nuances we each did, but honestly, it was awesome. She was an angel to me in so many ways, and really don't think um, I would be the person that I am today without those 2 years with her. We definitely learned a lot from each other. So it was absolutely amazing.
Oh, that's so special. So your parents also played basketball at Southern Utah. What's the legacy that your family has left there?
Our family, so we have a tagline for SUU now. It's SUU, a family university. Every time we refer to it, that's what we say. I would definitely say, it's been a good legacy there for our family. We all love SUU, and my dad, he was um, very successful athlete. He did student body government during his time there, so very popular. So people would come up to me and my sister all the time and just be like, "Oh, you're Peter Johnson's daughters. Oh, we love him." And then my mom is very well remembered as well. So, I think when me and Kiana were there, my sister, we just wanted to uphold that positive legacy and be involved with the community. And just really make sure the Johnsons are well remembered there. And I think we are. I think Cedar City has been really good to us, so hopefully we were good to them.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that and say that you are well remembered there. So, Whitney, at what point in your basketball career did you realize that you wanted to work in athletics?
I actually figured that out fairly late, I think, because during my time at SUU, I was working on my master's degree at that time, and my undergrad at New Mexico was also in business. So up until the year before I graduated with my master's, I was thinking I wanted to work in a nonprofit or, go be this successful businesswoman in corporate America. But the summer before I graduated with my master's, I did a summer internship with SUU's athletics department. Worked under Andrew Parrish and Debbie Coram, the AD and deputy AD at the time. And honestly, it was just short, couple month internship, did a lot of different projects in compliance and media relations and things like that. And it just kind of opened my eyes, and I thought, I love athletics. Why am I trying to leave? What am I trying to do? So, yeah, it was the summer before I graduated that I kind of dedicated myself to athletics and thought, yeah, this is definitely for me.
That's so great. I'm glad that you were able to find your purpose in that. So, what were some of the unexpected hurdles that you were met with as an athlete?
I would definitely say injuries. I suffered a lot of injuries during my time as an athlete. My freshman year, I tore my ACL, MCL, and meniscus. And then about a year and a half later, ruptured my Achilles tendon. And then my junior year, I tore my other ACL. So whenever I tell the story of my injuries, and I kind of break it down into those three different injuries, I talk about how the first one broke my body. It was hard, but I was positive, thinking, oh, this is a time to focus on my academics. It's time to have a social life outside of athletics. So again, it hurt and it was hard, but I felt like I jumped back quickly. The second time broke my heart. It was a lot harder to keep that positive attitude. I was thinking, I've already done this. Why do I have to do this again? Like, what more do I have to learn? And then the third time, I usually say that one broke my soul. Got me down for a long time, physically, mentally, emotionally. Because injuries as an athlete not only hurts your relationship with the team, just because you're not working out with them, you're not running sprints with them, you're not dying daily with them, you're doing other things, you're kind of pulled away. And then it's hard not having that same cohesion, connection. You're not able to do what you went there to do, and you're not able to succeed in the ways that you wanted to and achieve your athletic goals. So luckily was able to bounce back even from that third and last one. Learned a lot about myself, learned a lot about the importance of good family and good friends to really help support you there in your times of trouble. But I would definitely say injuries were were the hardest part, and unexpected, because I was never hurt as an athlete in high school. So to come to college and just be like, what? Every other year? What is this? And it was hard. It was definitely hard.
Oh, I'm sure, but you're such an excellent example of what it is to overcome. So it's so great to see that in you. So now, since graduating from Southern Utah, you've worked at Indiana University in the athletics department and for the NCAA as a postgraduate intern. How have those experiences confirmed to you that you're doing what you're genuinely passionate about?
Those experiences, first off, just want to give a shout out to Indiana University and the NCAA. I loved my time there at both organizations, both places, and really both opportunities really just helped me, again, learn more about myself and really discover that I am very passionate about the student athlete experience. I am passionate about helping student athletes, and not only student athletes, because at the NCAA we work with coaches and administrators, but I think I'm ultimately just passionate about helping people realize their dreams, realize their potential, get to where they want to go, both in their careers and personal lives. And really just going back to those student athletes, I just want to make sure that their experience is all that it needs to be, whatever trials they face as an athlete, whether that be injuries, playing time, relationships, or after their experience, that loss of identity so many athletes feel, their loss of purpose. I just really want to help student athletes in all situations with whatever they're facing, know that they can overcome and help them set a good plan for their lives so they have something to look forward to, and they have a vision, and they know not only where they want to go, but how they can get there. So both those experiences gave me opportunities to practice that, to play a part in the lives of other student athletes and coaches and administrators, and just the fact that I loved it as much as I did, I think athletics is definitely where I need to be.
You talked about loss of identity, and that is something that so many student athletes deal with. Is that something that you dealt with after you were done with your basketball career?
I did to some extent, which was really surprising to me, actually, because I was a student athlete that had a plan. Even though I knew that athletics, even though I came to the knowledge that I wanted to work in athletics kind of late, I mean, the summer before I graduated, I would consider that late. So even though I came to that knowledge later, I had a plan. Like I knew that I was going to work at Indiana University a couple months before I graduated. I knew that I wanted to be an athletics director, so I definitely wanted to set goals. Like I had a 5-10 year plan. I knew what I was doing after I graduated. Even with that plan, though, it was still a loss. So maybe not a sure loss of identity, in terms of I knew that I wasn't an athlete, and I was okay with that because of all of the injuries I had experienced. But it was difficult kind of having to redefine myself, and just really understand who was Whitney when she wasn't playing basketball. So yeah, I definitely had to relearn my identity, and just coming to better understand my strengths, coming to better understand how the things that I learned in basketball were able to translate to the workforce. So yeah, there's definitely, I guess roundabout way of saying there was maybe not a loss of purpose because I knew what I wanted to do. But yeah, loss of identity and who was Whitney when she wasn't a D1 athlete. That was something that I had to learn. And I didn't think it was something that I would have to learn because I was so goal oriented and I did have a purpose, but I think it's something that every athlete struggles with at some point.
Do you have a message for student athletes who've graduated and are now dealing with that loss of identity?
Yeah, I would definitely say that, sport is a great way to learn who you are. It's a great way to learn what strengths you have, but it doesn't define you. And even whether it's playing a sport, being an athlete, being involved in music or a club, or even sometimes our roles in life as a sister, daughter, those are all parts of our identity, but they're not the whole picture. I think the true importance of identity is knowing who you are outside of the roles you play in other people's lives, knowing how you want to show up each and every day, what makes you you, regardless of situation, regardless of the role, regardless of what you're doing. So I would just say to athletes, like, find out who you are and what you're good at, and make sure that your identity isn't tied to what you do, but how you want to show up in the world and who you want to be.
That is a very powerful message, Whitney, and one that I know a lot of people need to hear, regardless of whether they're an athlete or not. That is such a powerful message. Now, with leadership being so important to you, how important is diversity and inclusion for the next generation?
Incredibly important. People thrive, they excel, and they're empowered to fulfill their potential when they feel loved and accepted and safe and like they belong. People talk about diversity, inclusion, equity, and I think sometimes the definition of those words get lost in the message, or get lost in the connotation of what people think that means, or what people think that would be or what that should look like. So I'm finding that belonging is more the word that I think we should focus on, is making sure that student athletes feel that they belong, and making sure that they feel loved and accepted, and making sure that we understand what that means for them. Feeling like people belong and are accepted, that's an individual feeling. So it's not us trying to create a space where we think everyone can come and be happy, but learning what does that mean for the individual? What does that look like for them to be included and to feel loved? And so I think it really comes down to relationships and just getting to know people on that individual level. But yeah, again, long way of saying diversity and inclusion is incredibly important, and not just those who not just for ethnic minorities or LGBTQ or people who don't fit the majority mold, but for everyone. Everyone needs to feel that wherever they're at in life and whatever they're doing.
Again, such an important message. You're just throwing out all these nuggets of wisdom. Looking back on the hurdles that you were met with an athlete, you talked about those 3 injuries. What is the most important lesson that you learned on the court that you're taking into your athletics career?
This one is a hard one, because you say most important. I'm like, I can only say one, because really.
Give me a few. If there's a few you want to touch on.
Okay, yeah, I'll just spit them up. Well, first and foremost, I would say communication. I had to learn through all of those injuries, how to stay connected with the team, even if it wasn't I wasn't playing with them, I wasn't practicing with them, I was off the court, so I had to learn how to communicate and make sure I was still involved and make sure I was checking in with people, and using my voice. I think I also had to learn how to communicate with myself, that self-talk thing. I had to make sure I was saying positive things to myself, to make sure that when I was feeling depressed or discouraged or disconnected, that I didn't stay there, right? Because that's not helpful. That doesn't help you progress. I would definitely say I learned a lot about perseverance. And when that 3rd injury, some of my coaches asked me, I would wonder too, okay, here's a player, her 3rd injury, is she going to come back? Is she going to keep playing? Like, what is she thinking? And so when they brought those concerns to me, I said, no, like, I'm ending this game on my terms. I'm finishing it the way I want to. So some people may think that's stubborn. I think I call it perseverant, and just willing to fight for the dreams that I had. And I will say, even though I never felt like I fulfilled my potential as a basketball player, I think I did fulfill my potential as someone who's willing to shoot for the moon and keep going no matter the obstacles. And definitely that translates into my career, especially in athletics, because even though I'm not playing a sport, it's still extremely competitive, and you still got to fight every day to make sure that you're creating a safe space for student athletes where they can thrive and be productive. So just that sense of perseverance and keep pushing forward no matter the obstacles are some of the things that I took away. And then to love the ones you're working with as well. Because again, like I said, I wouldn't have gotten through those injuries without amazing family, friends, and support. So definitely acknowledging that those in your life make a difference and influence you in ways that you may not always know. So it's important to surround yourself with good people.
For sure, for sure. Well, Whitney, thank you so much for your time today. It's so appreciated. Again, everyone, this is Whitney Johnson, former Southern Utah basketball player. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much.